What's up, fish heads? Welcome back to Waterbox Live. There's always some weird stuff going on before we start. Welcome back. Appreciate y'all tuning in, and we got a fun episode for you guys today. We're going to take lots of questions. We're giving away some monies, or
yeah,
we're giving away. We always do. Giving away 2 $100 gift cards at the end of the stream. So make sure you guys stick around to the end to find out who wins. Yeah, go ahead.
Currency
not
as
just
usual.
Me talking today.
No, I know you were going for it though. I should just let you keep going. Currency for winning gift cards, of course, is being active in the chat. So be active, make friends, talk, and drop your questions because we will be doing Q&A. So of course, one of the best things about being live is getting your questions answered live. So start dropping them now so Keenan can grab them. I had something else to say, but you totally threw me off, but that's okay.
It is not my fault.
It's completely your fault.
Right.
And Sir Duncan Jr.
Yes.
Okay. Good.
You guys always ask for the horse head. Well, Linseed got us a mini horse head. And what's funny about this horse head is it's like almost identical to the actual horse head. I guess he screenshotted it, right? And then he 3D printed it. He started out, super small?
The small ones.
Then he got a little bit bigger.
So he perfected it. This one, there's actually one that's bigger, which actually, if you're here, not here yet, that I see in the chat. So I'm going to wait and I'm going to yell at him because he has not emailed me on this. There's one that's bigger, this one. This is the one that he brought to Reefapalooza Orlando and snuck into the Cube 20 that was at our booth. But he was going to have it in his shirt before the show, that's what I'm going to say, but he decided last minute not to. Instead of having the huge one up here, we now have our desk-sized one.
Yes.
So, of course,
I
everyone
love
loves
it.
Sir
If you
Duncan.
guys don't know about the horse head, we have a giant gold horse head that used to be at my house, now it lives at the office. And now we have a mini one.
Yeah.
I love it.
You guys still live right here.
I really want him to perfect the model and reproduce it. We need to sell it. Or he can sell it or whatever, but it's cool.
I don't know if you're 3D printing them. Is 3D printing scalable? I don't know.
Yeah,
I've never 3D printed.
absolutely. Because you're just getting what's in the software perfected to recreate the same thing every time.
All right, where is he? He's always here. I don't think he's in our chat yet.
He'll show up.
All right, this is gonna be the one time he's not on the live. Watch it.
Jesus Fish says, hi, not from Kuwait. Are you not from Kuwait? Or
from Kuwait.
Are you from Kuwait? Let us know where you're from.
Otherwise,
ask
that's
us
a really
questions
random
about
thing
anything.
to say.
We're about to jump into a topic about a pretty cool fish. But let us know what questions you have and where you're from. And because, again, you can't win if you don't comment.
Yeah, so put any questions in because we're going to answer some questions later. But this is probably one of my favorite things to have in an aquarium. And it's even better, well, I guess it depends which one you keep, but in somewhat smaller aquariums, it's a really great addition to nanos, but you can also keep them in larger ones depending on the type that you pick. But probably one of my absolute favorite things to keep is a pistol shrimp and goby pair.
Which I have never kept.
You've never had one?
No.
Oh my God.
OMG. We've had them here, though.
We have.
So maybe technically I've kept them.
No.
I've just not cared for them.
That doesn't count. So you see here, there's a yellow wax from Goby with a tiger pistol shrimp. And these guys are so cool. So they have a symbiotic relationship. Now, this pistol shrimp is blind. Can't see for nothing. But he can dig burrows like nobody's business. He's great at it all day, 24/7. Just keeping the burrow clean. Always has all these entryways, uses shells to make the walls, and will meticulously, non-stop, make sure the burrows are perfect. And that's his job. However, he's blind. He don't know what's going on. He doesn't know when a predator's around. Very vulnerable to predators, and also, if you're blind, not really a lot of access to food. So, what do you need? You need a little goby friend who, not the best at making burrows, has eyes, so he's going to keep watch. So the goby then sits out in front
Hence
of the
Watchman
burrows.
Goby.
Watchman, yeah, he just happens to have that particular name. And the Watchman goby, or any of the pistol shrimp type of gobies that pair with them, because not all gobies do, he's your guard. He's basically the guard. He sits out in the front of the burrow and keeps watch. He'll also make sure that the pistol shrimp gets food. Fun thing is, if the pistol shrimp comes out to the opening of a burrow, he will keep one antenna on the body of the goby. And now if the goby senses danger, he'll flip his body. Pistol shrimp knows, get into the burrow, and goes and hides. So he kind of communicates with the pistol shrimp to go stay safe. So they provide each other a service. Pistol shrimp makes a gorgeous home, tons of tunnels all over for the goby. The goby provides protection and food for the pistol shrimp.
And what does a Watchman Goby or any type of goby that pairs with that shrimp do when there is no pistol shrimp?
They make a burrow, but it's not as good. It's kind of just, it'll be like one little tunnel here or there. It's not as intricate. It's not as well done. And they tend to be a little bit more of a jump flight risk because they don't have as good of a burrow, and they don't have
so they're really
usually it's dedicated
they're really
space.
kind of like meant to be together, which is so crazy to me. Like when you think about evolution with these animals, like they're meant to be together. Mm-hmm. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, and a pistol shrimp, now you can keep a pistol shrimp in an aquarium by itself, but you're not going to see them very much. His burrows are going to be kind of by himself. They're not going to come out. The openings are not going to be towards front of the aquarium or anything like that. And you're also going to have a harder time making sure they get fed. Now look at it. This is actually a pair of yellow Watchmans with their pistol shrimp.
You think that's a male-female situation?
Yeah, so with like the yellow Watchman gobies, you will not have same sex going together. So this is definitely a pair going together. And there's actually a lot of different type of gobies that pair with pistol shrimp, but not all gobies do. So you can't just pick up any goby and any pistol shrimp and expect them to go together either. So there are specific ones, and some pair with different types of pistol shrimp better. So there is, some knowledge has to go into it to make sure you pick the right ones to go together. Because usually if you go into a fish store, they're not going to have the goby and the pistol shrimp already paired together or anything. You kind of end up with them separately. And I don't think most people even know that this is an option that you can do, because usually you just see the gobies. The pistol shrimp aren't seen as much as far as I've seen in stores, or as far as availability goes. I don't think they get the attention that they deserve, because people think, oh, I have all these burrowing things, my rock structure is going to crumble, things are going to fall, too much digging, and as long as you don't have this super deep sand bed with the rocks that are just sitting right on top of inches and inches of sand bed, it's really not a big deal. You may have some settling of rock, but
this is one of those things that reminds me of, I used to scuba dive a lot, and I've mentioned this before, but one of my favorite things about scuba diving, because I scuba dove after I started keeping reef aquariums. A lot of people scuba dive, they want to go see sharks and like big fish.
Yeah.
The most interesting thing for me was to get my face as close to the rock or the sand or the structure as possible to see that kind of stuff.
Oh, the little
That was
things.
what I loved. I love seeing like all the little gobies jumping around and the shrimp and the different things like that, because like that's the type of stuff you would never see unless you get really close. And so anyways.
Yeah, that's why I think nanos are such a fun thing to have. Even if you have a huge big aquarium, you've ungraded, so you've got a 300 gallon, 200 gallon, whatever. Having a nano gives you so much cool stuff as far as inverts and small fish and interactions that like you can't appreciate in a big aquarium. They're a lot of fun. So there's a couple other photos or video you have, right, Keenan, of different types of
They're not videos, so it's this one?
pictures. Yeah. So
Wow.
so the pistol shrimp here, that's a different type of pistol shrimp that you can get. This one usually goes with smaller gobies or different types of gobies. So here is like a pink bar goby, and this is your candy cane pistol shrimp. This candy cane pistol shrimp is really good for like Yashia gobies or ones that are a little bit smaller because it doesn't get big. Pistol shrimp, the tiger pistol shrimp get really big. So they tend to go really well with those big Watchman gobies and stuff like that. I think you have one of the Yashia goby, I think. Yashia goby. They're my favorite. They're expensive now. These used to be considered expensive.
To catch a fish that small
It's true. That
on
lives in a burrow.
that lives in a burrow on a reef, like on the other side of the world, and then to ship it over here, they should probably all be fairly expensive.
That's true. They are. I don't know if they are any. Who does them now? But right as I was leaving running stores, they were starting to become aquacultured.
Yeah.
So this is the Yashia goby, which is like, there's a poor version, is a red banded goby, which used to be like $30. And then the Yashia goby was like $70 for this little goby, and it only gets like, 2-3 inches long, but they're really, really pretty, and they go with the little red banded.
So was that court jester goby? Have you seen that before?
Court jester? Court jesters is not a pairing goby.
Oh, it won't pair. Okay.
No, court jester gobies are actually very good because they will pick at algae and they'll sift the sand a little bit and stuff, but they are completely in a different category of goby. They do not pair with them. So they're not one that you can put together. It's not going to work the same. But Yashia is a really good choice. However, I think now, there's a court jester.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've seen them before.
Those are great for nanos because they'll pick at hair algae off the rock. They'll sift a little bit of sand. They're like super multifunctional. They're not super shy, which is great. And they have a cool pattern and a lot of color. So
This looks like a wrasse.
yeah, they do look a lot like a wrasse. But it's one that is, again, I've not seen available on a regular basis. Yeah.
I learn so much every stream. Honestly, I'm very fascinated. I've never done a pistol shrimp and goby pair.
It's
And
so
fascinating.
much fun.
So you're saying maybe, like, it's cool to keep them in like their own tank in a sense. Like, could you keep them in like a cube 20, like, just to kind of like give them their own little?
You could, but they're good with other fish.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, they're completely community because they stay at the bottom. They're doing their own thing. They could mostly care less. The main thing, like if you're doing them in like a cube 20, is like don't put another bottom dweller because that goby is there to protect the burrow and their tunnels. And when you've got a pistol shrimp doing his thing, that pistol shrimp, I guarantee you, has a tunnel network that goes everywhere because that pistol shrimp doesn't stop and he is just building everywhere. So you don't really want to have competition around. But they're really fun to see interact when you have a smaller, like you put a pistol shrimp and goby pair into a 200-gallon aquarium. They may have their opening not as easy to find. You can't tell them that they have to have their main opening where they sit in the front of the aquarium. Generally, the goby's going to pick somewhere close to the front because that's where foods and stuff going to come.
Yeah.
But you may have a chance that they pick somewhere you don't see as well. But you've got quite a few types. I mean, there's yellow watchman is probably one of your more common ones. But you got pink bar gobies, you got orange bar, you got Yashias and red bandas. So there's quite a good variety of gobies that pair with pistol shrimp. So you can kind of pick and choose your type with them. But it's one of those symbiotic relationships that I don't think you can really beat how fun it is to watch and how cool it is.
This is interesting. At ORA, I searched for pistol.
Uh-huh.
And they gave me these three that they have, which probably pair with.
The neon goby is not. That's the wrong search. Pink
Those are
spotted
cool,
watchman is good, and yellow watchman, yeah.
So, yeah.
That pink spotted
Two different
watchman should
watchmen.
go with the tiger pistol because they stay big. So is the yellow watchman.
And on the ORA topic, if you guys are looking for fish, check out ORA and reach out to them and ask them where you can find their fish because they're all aquacultured here in Fort Pierce, Florida. Wonderful company. You guys have probably seen them a number of times on our streams, Blue Friday, etc. So
Yeah.
reach out to them. Love that company. Have well before I was in this industry. So check them out.
They were the first ones that were aquaculturing clownfish. That's where they started. Was
Yeah.
the first aquaculture clownfish started with them, and then they got corals, inverts. I mean, they were the frontiers that really brought the aquaculturing to the hobby, which is so important.
Yeah.
Now, we have so much more companies and stuff now doing it, but what do you say? They're coming up on 30 years, right?
Yeah.
We were just talking to Jordan
Which
recently.
is crazy because
Yeah.
I remember their 25th and it's like they're about to hit 30.
Yeah, so they've been, doing a very long time.
Yeah, I remember seeing them at shows in Macna back in like the early 2000s.
Yeah,
So,
dating ourselves. Don't worry about
yeah.
it. You have any questions?
Yeah, we got a couple.
All right.
A couple questions.
Got a couple.
Can pistol shrimp and jawfish live together?
No, they don't have that symbiotic relationship. So a jawfish doesn't want anything in his burrow. They don't. I mean, if you have a pistol shrimp, he may just be in a different part of the aquarium, and a jawfish is going to do his own thing, but they're not going to play nice together in the same burrow. Jawfish
Are those
another
sand
cool.
sifting gobies still popular in the hobby?
Yeah.
But they're not symbiotic. Right?
No.
They're just, all right. The special grade sand a good size for a sand sifting goby.
Special grade.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, sand sifting gobies can technically sift pretty chunky, and special grade, I want to say, how's chunky? Can you look up special grade sand for me? I don't know how.
Keenan's running solo back there.
Yeah,
tonight,
sorry.
Special grade what?
Yeah, Carib Sea special grade sand. I don't know how big that grain size. We don't use that one.
I
We
know
use
it's bigger
Fiji
than
pink.
Fiji pink.
Bigger than Fiji pink, but
Yeah.
they can sift a bit bigger than that. But I don't know how big that one is. I don't think it's a problem, but just to be safe on that
Of course,
one.
I'm going back to like where in the reef do these live?
Who? The sand sifting?
Yeah, the goby and the pistol shrimp. What's
All
their zone?
along, all the, like what countries?
No, just like where in the reef, you know?
Special grade. I can't read that. All right, read that for me. What's the typical size?
1 to 2 millimeters,
And Bahama Ulate is up to what?
0.25 to 1,
And then go down. Fiji pink is.
0.5 to 1.5.
Yep, you're good. Not a problem. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe you guys can answer in the chat. Where do these goby and shrimp typically live? I'm sorry, I always go back to that because I'm like, I want to know the nature aspect.
Right.
We know what they do in an aquarium, but where are they in an actual reef?
Well, whenever they make their burrow in aquarium, they always are building their burrow entrance is at the edge of a rock, and their burrows go under rock.
High flow, low flow? Do you know?
Well, I mean, since they're at the bottom and against a rock, it's going to be lower flow than like where waves are crashing.
That's what I'm just thinking. Like, you know, like in areas of the reef where like a lot of SPS are.
Yeah.
There's literally waves crashing at a lot of that. So I wonder if like maybe they're in like lower tidal flow zone areas where there's not as much flow.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
Or
know if
like-
they could be somewhere where the sand is constantly being disturbed.
Just
but,
throwing wrenches into the live stream. That's all.
but the pistol, maybe that's why the pistol shrimp never sleeps, because he's always fixing the burrow from the high crashing waves.
Yeah, it could be.
I guarantee you, a pistol shrimp
I
never
feel like
stops.
though they're going to be, and someone might already be answering it. Sometimes I see people throw it out there, but I feel like they would be in like a lagoon kind of area.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, where like the tide's coming up and down with not too much flow. Shallow coral reefs, the Indo-Pacific.
There you go, shallow coral reefs.
Yeah.
So shallow would be
Yeah.
crashing waves, right?
That's where I have some gray area. I don't know, because shallow reefs could be in an area where there's just the tide's just going up and down. There's not a lot of flow,
Oh.
but you could also have crashing waves. So I don't know.
I don't think Google's going to tell you if there's crashing waves or not.
Need
Paint
a
a picture for
Yeah,
We
I
need
don't
like
know.
a guy over
the
here.
crashing waves with Indo-Pacific
I need like
on
a
the
marine
Gobies.
biologist that's sitting off to the side here that can tell us like the real version,
Need
not
to
the
phone a
aquarium
friend.
version. Yeah.
Marine biologist, phone a friend. I got a couple of marine biologists I know. We're going to put them on.
Or I could look it up before we have the episode.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, at least you know what we're doing topic-wise before the episode recently, so that's good.
Yeah. Can a pistol shrimp survive alone?
Yeah, if you're gonna have just a pistol shrimp, what you want to do is actually make sure that your fish food, you put some fish food into like an entrance of one of his burrows, because he's not gonna come out and blindly try to find food around the tank, because they'd have to settle onto the sand bed. And with him being like practically blind, he would have to come out and scavenge, and they're not going to leave the safety of their burrow. They don't realize that they're in a safe Waterbox aquarium where there's no big puffer or whatever predator is trying to come eat them. So they're going to stay in there and just hope something just comes into the burrow. So you want to make sure that you're making sure that actual food gets into there.
I've seen videos where people are switching the drain and the emergency drain so the pipes don't have an overlap. What are your thoughts on that? So the order would go drain, emergency, drain, return.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's
Switch them.
universal.
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah.
Never seen that one before, I don't think.
No, I've asked that. I've asked it in support before, but not on here.
Yeah. Can you have plants with gobies?
Oh, they would love like a macroalgae type of tank. Yeah, because gobies naturally will eat like copepods and mysid shrimp and stuff like that. And usually with those, you have a pretty decent sand bed with a microfauna type setup or macroalgae. And it'd be really peaceful for them in a pistol shrimp if you wanted to put one in there with them. So, and they don't eat those, so they're not gonna mess with anything.
Yeah. Are some pistol shrimp more hardy than others?
I would say a tiger pistol shrimp is more hardy than like a red-banded or red lake candy cane pistol shrimp, just because the tiger pistol shrimp tend to come in bigger. And I'll tell you that the little red candy cane or red pistol, like red-banded pistol shrimp, they don't get as big. And I've had them come in before, and I don't even know how to measure their size, like a grain of rice size. Like
Really?
so tiny that like you can't even have a container that could fit them. And of course they're extremely fragile at that size. So purely based upon that, I would say would be a reason, is because their growing size is so much smaller that if you get one in that's really small, it's going to be easy, it's harder to keep them.
Do pistol shrimp eat coral?
Nope.
Scavengers?
Yeah.
And whatever they're fed.
Yeah, they're going to eat just meat though.
Clowns are jerks, so will they work in the same tank, or is it buyer beware?
I think with clownfish, they're not going to care at something that's right at the base of the aquarium. Because a goby is generally, especially if they have really nice tunnel network where the pistol shrimp has all these different areas to come in and out of for the goby, is the only time you're going to see that goby really kind of leave the entrance and just sitting on the sand and kind of just chilling, looking around, is really when you feed. It's probably to come and grab some food. And I think at that point, the clownfish are probably busy grabbing food. It might be one of the best things you could put in with the clownfish because they occupy such different space. Now, if your clownfish have an anemone that's at the rock base, that might actually be the worst thing. But if they kind of occupy upper area, probably a good thing to try. I love how clownfish are like one of the most beloved fish, and they're complete a-holes. They are.
Can I get a hawkfish if I have a pistol shrimp and a yellow watchman goby?
There is a risk but that is the watchman's job, is to protect the pistol shrimp. And the pistol shrimp is not likely, when he has the goby, to ever really venture fully out of that burrow. And the goby should never let the hawkfish into the burrow. So you should be okay. And the pistol shrimp does have claws, does have some protection. So I think it is one of those invertebrates that is probably considered relatively safe from the hawkfish. Now, if your hawkfish is a complete jerk and just as determined to eat that pistol shrimp, I can't say that it won't possibly happen, but I think it's extremely unlikely.
Does my goby feed the pistol shrimp? I've never seen mine eat.
Yes. So the goby generally is going to make sure that food is provided into the tunnel for the pistol shrimp. So he wants this pistol shrimp to continue on making his home really nice, and the pistol shrimp's not going to come get it. So when the gobies, have you ever seen a goby? It's got a really big jawline. Like, they can hold a lot of food. So a lot of times you're actually going to put that into the burrow for the pistol shrimp. It's amazing to think that a fish, we always think fish don't really have brains, okay? A lot of times. But it makes you think that they actually do.
They got a little
They do
one.
think in some instinctive way
Yeah.
of actually like feeding their actual.
Comparative
Sure.
to the size of their body, I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
Can I keep a yellow watchman with a mandarin?
Oh yeah. They should have
Yeah.
no problem with each other.
Oh, yeah.
However, watch our episode 2 ago about mandarins, because mandarins have a lot of things that you have to be cautious of before you get one to keep them alive long term.
Has anyone ever put a manifold in the pump chamber of an all-in-one to run reactors or UV?
A manifold in the pump chamber of an all-in-one to run. B.
The chances are yes, but no.
I think.
Manifold in the pump chamber. I see what you're saying. Tee it off and run it through a UV.
Yeah, with an all-in-one though, I think you're better off running a separate pump
Yeah.
to run reactors in a UV, because it's not as easy with, like, when you have a sump and you have all that room in the return line and like all this PVC and stuff to run a manifold and then run lines and stuff to have that all contained down there. When you have an all-in-one, like, you're very limited in space to go ahead and like make a reactor back there or make a manifold. If you have a way to do it, go for it. You're gonna have to upgrade your pump. But I think when you have an all-in-one, if you're looking to run reactors or UV or anything like that, you need to run it on its own pump and kind of split it that way to be more reasonable in space, and also flow rates and stuff like that is going to be your best way. However, I'm not saying it's impossible and that no one's done it. Check out our user group on Facebook. It's an official user group, Waterbox user group, and ask in there maybe and see if anyone has suggestions or maybe photos to show of what they've done, either with their main pump and a manifold or separate, just to maybe give you some ideas and suggestions.
Does having a watchman pistol pair increase my chance of structure collapse?
Now, okay, in a way, yes. Only if, say you put down your sand. I put down 2, 3, 4 inches of sand, and you just put your rock sitting right on top. Okay, you didn't push it down at all. It's sitting right on top of that sand. Built it up, whatever. Put anything in, a sand-tipping goby, a jawfish, a pistol shrimp, any of that kind of stuff, they're going to dig out under that rock, and it's going to settle, which can cause shifting. Now, but we never suggest that's how you do your aquascape. You either put your rock in, then put sand, or if you put sand in first, you push your rock in so that it's deep into the sand and kind of set. So it really depends on if you do it the way that is generally suggested. Now, if your rock is just set on top of that sand, before you put anything in there that's going to dig, kind of get it pushed in before you do that. So it's going to like alleviate that risk.
Oh yeah.
We'll do one more question.
One more question, and then we're gonna give away some monies. Any chance Waterbox will ever do shallow tanks? So we do shallow tanks, or at least what we consider shallow tanks. We have the Frag series, which are they about little under 16 inches, right at 16 inches.
Yeah. So we used to have what our frag was, which was 12 inches.
Too shallow.
It was
for
too
most
shallow.
people, yeah.
Yeah, and what we found out is most people thought it was too shallow, and
Yeah.
they feel that 16
They didn't want it as a
inches is
true frag
better.
tank. They wanted it as like a shallow reef.
Yeah. So it's tough though because everyone wants something a little bit different, but overall we found that 16 inches was better for most people. However, we do have custom. So if you want something that is under what we do now, you can do a custom build with us and you can fill out the form on the website. So we can meet anything that you want to do, but in our production models, it's what kind of meets more people's needs.
Yep.
All right, we got some winners.
Yes, we do.
Alrighty.
All right, ready? Gonna give away some money.
Dennis Smith and the Animag. Sorry, you guys saw your names. If you won, email winners. Yeah, there you go. The Animanga 17. Sorry. Email winners at waterboxaquariums.com. They'll get you hooked up. Let them know if you're in the U.S. or Canada. We appreciate you all being here as usual. I'm going to give you guys the VIP notice that you should place your order before June 2nd because prices are going up.
Ooh.
Yes, we will have an official announcement on Friday, but as you guys know, and I'm speaking specifically of the United States only, we will have a slight price increase. It is not very big, but if you guys want to lock in the best price that you possibly can, do it before June 2nd. And again, we've kept this price increase as low as we possibly can. It's lower than the other guys on the market. I assure you of that. So definitely, if you can, place it before June 1st. And again, that notice will go out Friday, so you guys have until June 1st at midnight.
Sneak peek.
Roughly.
Gave them the info.
I did, yeah, because
right.
you guys are tuning in, so I want to give you guys that. If you're on the fence, you guys are in the, if you guys in here don't own a water box and you're thinking, well, maybe I'm going to get one, chance, the time is before June 2nd.
People say, why are the prices going up? Tariffs?
Yeah, why are they going up? Yep, tariffs.
I mean,
There's no other, yeah, it's not because we want to.
no.
It's because we have to. So
All right.
hopefully it's temporary. That's what we're hoping. But again, it's not terrible, but we got to do it. And we appreciate y'all being here.
We'll be here next week.
We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. For more information on Waterbox Aquariums, visit waterboxaquariums.com.
We're live every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Make sure to tune in, and we'll see you next week.